I would love to hear about your creative process because you're someone who I would just love to be a fly on the wall during one of your styling sessions and just understand what that's like. You style everyone from Jennifer Lawrence to Adele, Katy Perry, Nicole Richie. Talk me through what a kind of styling session looks like. How are you walking into the room and saying, okay, I know your style, I understand the things that like you will and won't do, but also as the pro, I'm sure that you have a vision that you know would be executed really well. What's that balance?
I think at this point with everyone I work with, we've kind of worked together for a pretty long time, or at least have an understanding of what is comfortable, what types of silhouettes and body parts and colors and designers and brands and kind of how everyone likes to dress. And I think that that's the most important part. Obviously, a first fitting is with someone ever you're trying to just like understand how they get dressed. And I think now that I've worked with like Riley for probably over 10 years now, Nicole for probably the same thing, I know what they gravitate towards. I know what types of colors, I know what types of silhouettes, I know what things that they won't wear. And then there's always a little push where I bring something in where me and Nicole just had a fitting the other day, and I brought like the things I knew she'd love. And I text with all my clients because I try not to pull too many things or waste anyone's time. So I kind of work in tandem with my pulling with my clients, kind of sending photos and just being like, can you heart this? Which is like my favorite feature in texting because I will send like 30 images and I'll just like see 5 hearts and I'll be like, those
Done.
5 things will be at our fitting. So doing that is really helpful. And then I'll throw in some things that I think would look really good, but may have to push a client into it or into understanding it. So there was this like outfit that I loved that I said to Nicole, just try it, just try it. She's like, I won't wear that. I won't wear that. And then she put it on and we pinned it and tailored it and put on tights with it. And like, we kind of did the thing. And she was like, oh, I love like sometimes things on a rack, you need someone else to kind of paint the picture and tell the story in order to be open to pushing your boundaries a bit.
I love that. I'm sure you were sitting in the corner being like, I told you so.
Oh yeah, I'll say it. I'll be like, I told you.
Yeah.
And then sometimes she has ideas and like brings it, you know what I mean? Like it just everyone everyone has their comfort zones and everyone is able to be pushed out so much. And sometimes you need to know how hard you can push someone or not.
I mentioned in the beginning of this episode that something I get really excited to talk about is helping someone kind of find their fashion essence and understanding what their personal style is. I think in today's world where social media is like a part of our everyday lives, I've noticed this trend where I'll go out sometimes and I'll see everybody in like different versions of the same thing. And I feel like it's really easy for everybody to just say, oh, I want to be stylish and I see this person on Instagram and I'm going to buy those exact things and that's what I'm going to wear instead of actually taking the time to figure out what their style is and what feels good. Obviously, you do this with so many people. Even this Nicole story is epic in just pushing someone out of their comfort zone. What do you think is kind of the key to understanding that? Like, what would you recommend someone who's listening right now who's struggling with that? What would you recommend they do?
I think I'd recommend, I mean, Pinterest to me is like the greatest gift of all time. And the internet and being out on the street in New York, walking around and it's kind of looking to what other people are wearing and doing and picking little pieces. I think even from the runway, if you're like, oh, I like that idea of wearing a thick headband or a sheer tight or a red tight, and you just kind of pull little things that you like and work them into your kind of regular uniform or what you're already comfortable wearing.
I feel like something that helped me a lot also was understanding like what proportions work for me.
For sure.
I think Pinterest is like the great starting point of figuring out what your aesthetic is.
The thing I love about Pinterest is if you have something you like, you click on it and you go down and there's
So many more.
Similar. Yeah.
That's the best.
And
That's
I'm
the best feature.
constantly updating my Pinterest where I'm like, oh, I want to wear my scarf like that. Or I want to like, I'll kind of, or in movies, when I'm watching old movies, I'll take pictures and put it in my phone and be like, I like that.
That's cool.
So
I love
just
that.
pulling from everything.
Yeah, and I like to keep updating it. It should be like a monthly practice almost.
Like I like to go into worlds and create.
A world also that I'm obsessed with that I know that you had a big part in building is currently Jennifer Lawrence's closet. I am
Oh, she has a big part in that too.
I want to hear all about this because I think from a fashion lover's perspective, you can see someone in their personal style. I assume that there are some clients that you work with that like have their personal style nailed. You're kind of in there making things a little better. With Jennifer Lawrence, I feel like you gave her or the two of you worked together on like a full style rebrand. Like talk to me about what went into that and what the aspiration was.
I think it was pretty organic. I think that she's super curious and interested and surrounds herself with the right things and picks up on things it's really a collaborative process where and it's so fun for both of us. It's definitely fun for me. She obviously looks good in everything and she appreciates it and she likes to dress up and we're constantly going to each other with ideas and shutting things down and saying, oh, I love that. Let's do that over and over. So it's definitely a collaborative process between the two of us that's constantly being updated. Her Pinterest board that I have for her is like, she's like, ooh, I like that. And then I'll see her wear something on the street and I'll be like, ooh, I like how you did that. I wouldn't have done it that way. So
okay, wow. Jennifer Lawrence props. There's like a lot that she's going for on her own. I love that.
Yeah, it's definitely a really good collaboration between the two of us.
Another moment where I'd like to be a fly on the wall is like see what she's scrolling through and like where she's finding the inspiration. I would die for that.
Yeah, or we'll be in fittings and I'll like just look at all the clothes and be like, put this on. She's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. And then she'll put it on. She'll be like, whoa. And then I'll watch her kind of do it with other things in her closet or be like, I bought this purple belt that I'm obsessed with. And I'm like, and then she'll put it on. I'll be like, oh, I love it. So there's constantly showing each other things and educating each other and surprising each other, which is really fun.
I mean, Jamie, she looks really fucking good. Like she looks really fucking good.
So pretty and talented.
Yeah, but her style, I'm like, did she just wake up one day and be like, I want to be the hottest Upper East Side mom you've ever seen in your life? Like, because
I mean,
I see her on the street and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, she just looks good in everything is the truth.
Insane. And by the way, I believe that because she's so drop dead gorgeous. But insane fun fact, my most viewed story of like the last 365 days was when she walked out onto the street with the Margot bag and the Dalmatian and I put it up on my stories just like here's a vibe, guys. Like look at Jennifer Lawrence just like looking her best self. It got like thousands and thousands and thousands of reshares.
You know, that
it's my most shared story. I don't know why.
A lot of places.
It's like, guys, I did so many other things in the year, but we're just sharing this one moment. It was that good. It was that good.
Yeah. Yeah. People love that picture. And I love that picture. That was such a fun day that we didn't realize would be photographed and put everywhere.
Are those all her dogs?
No.
Okay. Which, by the way, I'm obsessed with even more. I was like, those are not hers.
They're none of her dogs. Which, but that's really funny.
It's for
Can you imagine if those were all her dogs? No, it was a Longines campaign.
Obsessed. I actually, you know what? I could imagine if those were her dogs. I'm not gonna lie. Like I wouldn't be surprised.
And she just walked them all together.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't. She's that cool, and I feel like she would have that many like animals in her house randomly.
Totally. She totally could, and she's totally capable and very cool.
Yeah. I would love to hear a little bit more about just your like where you're at as a stylist right now and your perspective on the industry. I feel like there's so much going on. We've got like new designers at new houses all the time. There's a lot of really exciting designers out there. Is there an emerging designer, someone who has her eye on everything that's exciting you at the moment?
I'm excited about so many designers. I really enjoyed working with this designer, Robert Woon, who created a beautiful gown for Adele for Vegas. He was really fun to work with.
By the way, I have to say that was hands down the best concert I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God, did you go?
I did. I went with my fiance.
When did you go?
We went
Which dress was it?
It was, and I knew it immediately when she came out. It was Armani.
Oh, okay. Which one?
Yeah.
The flower one?
No, it was when did I go? Did I go in November, October, November, I think I went.
Okay.
It was beautiful. I was there with Alex obviously, and I was so excited to see her perform, but even more excited to see her come up from the stage and see what she was wearing, because that collaboration, unbelievable.
Vegas has been fun. It's really fun to create a new look every weekend.
And she specifically was like, I want black the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Love.
That's where we kind of, like, I know where I can push my boundary, and I know I can't push it there with the color.
Right.
I was like, can't we just do color? And she's
No.
like, nope. I'm like, okay.
Honestly, I love it. The black with the set, it really worked, and she looks so good every weekend.
It's also about the music,
Yeah.
like she knows who she is as a performer. And what I really respect and learn from is her consistency and how she has such a clear vision, which sometimes I think as creatives, we get so excited and want to consume everything and do everything. And what I've learned from her is kind of staying in your lane and doing what works for you and what you feel comfortable in is really, it pays off and it's important. And that's what she does, which it's really fun to be a part of with her. So we do that together. It's the same thing where I'm sending photos of sketches and she's saying, should we move that? And I'm like, yeah, maybe we should make that a little longer or shorten the sleeves or do a different fabric there or a belt. And we're kind of, every dress that gets made, we've seen the sketches before, both of us, and they've been signed off on, and we're really careful about having things made that we know we like, not just having a million black dresses made and sent to us.
It's very specific, very intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes across for sure. She looks so good. Oh my God, I would see that concert again, I swear, 5 times.
I've seen it so many times and I never get sick of it. I literally could see it over and over and over. It's also different every time because of her gab, and
she's so funny. Why is she so funny?
She's so funny.
I was singing, for those of you listening who haven't gone and seen it, if you're like an Adele fan and have been since 19, which I was, I knew every song and I was belting and crying, and I swear I thought my fiance was just gonna leave the auditorium really silently and I was gonna be there alone. It was deeply emotional for me. I was like,
was he embarrassed?
So in it. I think it was really cute. I think he actually loved it. He was like, I loved seeing you just sing and cry and be so happy, and nothing else mattered, which was fucking cute.
It really is an emotional, and that room is so great.
I actually was thinking about you the other day because I get easily riled. If something's wrong or an email's wrong or I have to deal with a lot of things, that's just something that I have to work on in my life, is learning to just be okay, we got it. And as I was prepping for this interview, for some weird reason, you came to mind, being I can't imagine what it's like to be in Jamie's shoes during the Oscars, the Vegas residency, any red carpet. I'm sure that crises come up. How do you handle a crisis? What's your best tip? Because I'm sure there have been moments where a zipper breaks or something doesn't fit or something doesn't arrive in time. How are you handling it?
I think just fixing it. I'm not someone
just get
who
it
likes,
done.
Just get it done. I don't like to dwell on how this happened. It's just let's just figure it out, because no one else is going to figure it out.
I love that. I think that applies to anyone in any position in any job.
Also, we're not saving lives, so nothing is that bad that you can't figure it out and just make it right.